It's no days off, take no breaks. You in my lane, you in my way. You cross that line, it ain't your day. I lost my mind, I need my spot. Get out my way, 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 get out my way. I ain't never been safe. Black Forgiatos on the tires got me sitting high like a gladiator. Life on the line, cross the state line, straight face when I navigate it. You don't know about the fast life. I got scars from my last fight. Ice water in my bloodstream from some old things in my past life. This is not what you wanted. You hunter be hunted, no turning back or running from it. It's one and done, you better run it. You taste defeat or overcome it. Y'all can't tell me nothing. I spent 7 summers running through the jungle. Every day a struggle. People throwing stones and trying to make it stumble. Rose about the rubble, tell them they get trouble. So all y'all back up. Go call back up. I just got knocked down. I still got back up. It's no days off, boy. I take no breaks. I lost my mind. I need my spot. Get out my way. 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 I ain't never been seen nobody like that. They can't stop me. I'm on 10. Ain't no other option. They just copy what I did. Get out my way. Get out my way. Get out my way. I ain't never been safe. Never fold when you face pain or they take aim like a movie shoot. No vest when they draw lines. I be all sides feeling bulletproof. Use my past like a flashback. Overcome moving past that. Moving on, let the Audi run on the Autobahn where the gas at. Getting to it, yeah, I'm getting to it. Took a lot of hits, but I'm getting through it. You can make it or can make excuses. Choice is yours, I can't make you choose it. Came from nothing, but I got adopted. Treat this expedition like a Maserati. All up in the zone, it's like it's out of body. Yeah, they got away, but my splash tsunami. I just know go, I don't know chill. Say what I want, that's how I feel. I'm out that phone, I keep it trill. This be that glow, shine be too real. They want it smoke until they breathe in mine. Second hand smoke, I devoke, I get dying. I show and prove to give people a sign. I keep on running till the clock say it's time. It's no days off, I take no breaks. You in my lane, get out my way. Cross that line, it ain't your day. I lost my mind, I need my spice. Get out my way, 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 get out my way. I ain't never been seen nobody like that. They can't stop me. I'm on 10. Ain't no other option. They just copy what I did. Get out my way. Get out my way. Get out my way. I ain't never been safe.
You're listening to the RMPodcast, the official podcast of Red Moon Productions. Here are your hosts, Brandon Davidson, Keith Cheatham, and Sean Sebastian. Enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of the Red Moon Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host,
Sean Sebastian.
Yes, and
Keith Cheatham.
oh, just his eyes. We just see his eyes there. He's
all you
always
need to
watching.
see.
There
Yes,
he is. Look at him.
Well, hello!
How are you doing today, Keith?
I am excellent.
You doing okay this week?
I said last week, anytime I'm in this studio, it is a good
That is
day.
true.
Yeah.
It is a good day.
You know what is also it was a great week to cut the grass. And
yeah.
I'm pissed.
Why?
I'm pissed that it's back.
Really?
I didn't want to cut the
I
grass.
love it. I did that all morning. Just cut grass. Like
Oh,
3
you
hours
did?
I was cutting grass.
Mm.
I love it.
Is somebody got what's playing right now?
Huh?
Sean,
What?
I think you're playing our show. You're watching
well,
our show.
I'm a big fan.
He
I'm a big
wants
fan of the
to
show.
watch us live.
I like to watch
okay?
it.
Here, I'm gonna put mine on.
Oh, yeah?
It brings me much joy.
But the problem, I mean, it's just the delay. I mean, we're like, it's a 3-second, 4-second delay.
That's so
Usually
that
I-
we could
Usually
say
I
potty
take
words
steps to turn the
right?
volume down, but tonight I was more worried about coffee than turning
That's
the
true.
volume down.
And you spilled
And
it.
that
Yeah.
music
He
at
didn't
the
spill it.
beginning,
Did that get you pumped?
it got my heart going.
Get out
yeah.
my way!
Yeah.
Get out my way!
I
That's
felt
right.
like I was in a
Just
mosh pit.
Wanted to get out of the way. Yeah, just get out of the way.
But they don't do mosh pit at hip hop, do they?
Why not? Start it.
Well, that's,
I
It
just
can
don't
be
think they
your
do that.
thing.
they don't do that.
They don't.
You can do
that.
whatever
do
you
that.
want. What
Yeah.
do you mean? You
Moshers
they're like-
don't
There's
mosh
no rules.
Moshers
to-
don't mosh.
hip hop, man.
All right, so wait a sec. Back to the grass cutting, okay?
Yeah,
I'm ticked.
Why?
I don't want to do it.
I
I'm
heard your
sick and
mower's a
tired
piece of
it.
crap. That's what I heard.
It is.
Your
think
neighbor told
so.
me your mower sucks.
Well, yeah, it's a freaking push mower.
I
Briggs
know.
and Stratton.
Yeah,
Hey, it's been going third year strong now,
I
That's a
know,
push
but-
mower.
yeah.
It's fine.
but it doesn't matter. I just hate cutting the grass. Look, I don't mind cutting the grass, but the problem is I get lazy. I let it
Yeah.
grow like 2 weeks. I'm not going to do that this year.
Yeah,
I'm
But
vowing.
You got to cut it every week.
I
Yeah.
know.
every week
And I'm going to now.
religiously.
I'm gonna cut mine tomorrow morning. I cut it last week. I
Yeah.
cut it this week. I mean,
See, I was telling our neighbor friend that I love cutting grass because I have ADD really bad. And when you have that, like when you're working or doing something, you want to see immediate results. You want to see progress.
Yeah.
And I can't
That's
stand
one of those things you
I
can
can't
see
stand
progress.
doing something that it's like the result of my work is going to be seen a week from now. Like
Yeah.
I want to see it right now. And vacuuming and cutting grass are like my two favorite things to do around the house.
Wait. So you're telling me you actually like to vacuum?
Oh
too?
yes.
Just because you love seeing that dust get
I love
sucked
the
up.
dust and the dog hair and
dust
the
bunnies are
cheese
gone.
Cheez-It crumbs that the kids have dropped in the carpet. Like I love seeing that because then I know it's been cleaned.
It's clean.
And when I look out and see my progress cutting grass, I love it.
He looks at it. He sees it done.
Smell
and
it.
He just knows that it's working. It's working.
I will say I don't know. I compare it to running.
Huh.
When I get done running, I feel great.
Yeah.
Huh.
When I get done mowing the grass, I feel fantastic. I love looking out and seeing a clean yard, a
Yeah,
clean cut
yeah,
yard.
exactly.
And I love in the summertime just driving down the road. You smell that
Smell the-
freshly cut
yeah,
grass. I
yeah.
love it. But I'm not gonna lie, it's still like
You just don't like doing it.
yeah. And my yard's huge. My yard
Yeah.
is huge. it's too big. Too
See,
big.
what
for me.
I think what's missing is a cigar in your mouth.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay, then I don't need a push mower anymore. I need a riding lawnmower.
See, that's what I have.
And that's what I
Well, I
need.
have
to
to
get.
have it. I have like 8 acres to cut. But,
Yeah.
But still, pushing a lawnmower with a cigar in your mouth, I mean,
Yeah, you can.
if that don't give you a heart attack, I don't know what
Yeah,
will.
you-
Well, and
you can.
honestly, it's the best kind of heart attack. That'd be a good way to go. I mean, who would want to go any other way?
Exactly.
I want to
Right.
go.
I couldn't smoke a cigar
Every
today
way.
because my one of my children was at the house.
Mm.
And my wife had him outside. See, I won't do that in front of them.
Oh, it's a vice.
So it's a vice.
It's a
So-
vice that's next week. We got multimedia coming up
Yeah,
this week.
yeah.
Great topic in multimedia.
I
Trust
know.
me.
I saw it. It
Not
looks
just your
good.
tech jargon anymore. We've got some. It's kind of a personal.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna tease everybody out there.
Yeah, teaser.
Do you like phone calls or text better?
Okay.
But we'll
Save
get
it-
to that. We'll
save
get
it for
to
the
that.
end of
We'll
the
get
show.
to that. We got
Yeah.
something else coming up though. Just before that, Keith, you went and saw. Well, actually, both you
we
and Sean.
both saw the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
We
So
So we
both
sat
saw
in
it.
the same seat. Figure that out.
Yeah. You didn't know what to do there.
No,
You were trying to piece it. He's like, how did it
You know
work?
that broken seat in the front row at the IMAX?
The
broken
seat.
It's because of me and Keith.
We broke it some more.
All right, Bane.
yeah. Why don't you set us up for the movie that you went and saw?
Yeah.
Set us up for the movie we went and saw. I don't have one this week. I thought you were handling the transition.
I guess I can.
Yeah.
I didn't see this week's movie, so now I want to know all about it. Here's our review of Pet Cemetery.
I won't go over the complaints of remakes and reboots because we've been there and done that before. But no culturally significant film ever dies. To quote Stephen King, sometimes they come back. To quote King again, sometimes dead is better. With the remake of It having been a roaring success, Hollywood turned its eyes towards another King classic, Pet Cemetery. The difference, however, between this remake and many others in Hollywood is while a huge part of pop culture, Pet Sematary wasn't the immediate classic many other films that get remade are. It's definitely one of King's most popular books, and the story has definitely cemented itself in pop culture. But the original film, while not bad, could absolutely benefit from a modern-day retelling. Yet this new iteration of Pet Sematary, while a decent film, just doesn't offer enough to keep itself memorable. Directed by Kevin Kolsch and Dennis Widmeyer, the 2019 adaptation of Pet Sematary is the same story we are familiar with. The Creed family moves to rural Maine when patriarch Lewis gets a new job at the local college. Unbeknownst to the Creeds, something sinister resides in the woods behind their home. Tucked away in the woods is a pet cemetery where the local children go to bury their dead pets. Beyond the cemetery lies an ancient Indian burial ground, one that calls to those in mourning, where the dead rise. Playing Lewis in this adaptation is Jason Clarke, starring opposite Amy Seimetz as his wife Rachel, and newcomer Jete Lawrence as daughter Ellie. This adaptation, though, following the basic plot of the book and original, does make one major change, one which was heavily promoted in its trailers. In the original tale, 2-year-old Gage is killed when running out into the road. Much of the horror and driving force behind the original narrative is due to this plot point. Seeking to subvert expectations and make this adaptation something fresh, Kolsch and Widmeyer change which child is killed, and in this version it is Ellie who is hit and ultimately buried in the pet cemetery. With a terrifying story and an interesting new hook, this adaptation set itself up to truly be unique and bring Pet Sematary to new generations. Cinematography and production design are fantastic. The film has an effectively creepy atmosphere, and the budget is not wasted, with a production value that is a definite improvement over the original, though one would hope so with today's technological advancements. The film is a well-crafted work of horror. Being well-made and being a good movie are two different things, however, and Pet Sematary does take some missteps. The major problem with this iteration is that it's kind of stale. The original could be campy at times, and some of the effects have certainly not aged well, but it did succeed in giving us characters that felt real. The remake, while fixing the problems of the original by giving us a story and horrors that look and feel like they could happen in the real world, fails to make us connect with the Creeds. I like Jason Clarke well enough, but this Lewis feels detached from the very beginning, and therefore we never quite get to experience that descent into madness that drives the horror and ultimate decision to resurrect his deceased child. Likewise, in both the original book and film, Lewis's relationship with neighbor Judd, played by John Lithgow in this film, creates the soul of the story. Their friendship adds a lightheartedness to the tale that is all the more tragic, as it is Judd who introduces Lewis to the burial ground, thus placing the Creeds in the path of destruction. In this film, all of this world building is lost, and Judd's only purpose is to create exposition. Indeed, it feels as if the makers of this film were too concerned with retreading old ground that they've gutted the humanity from the story. Without that human element, there's no way to connect to the people these horrors befall. And if you don't care about the characters, then the film loses much of its ability to scare you. That being said, there are some highlights to the scares in this film. The atmosphere of the film is so well done that you'll be thoroughly creeped out the entire time. While the characters aren't given as much development as they should be, the sheer acting talent does offer enough to keep you entertained. I may not have cared much for Rachel, Lewis, and Judd, but they were very believable people. Jete Lawrence, however, goes beyond believable with a stellar performance as Ellie. It's been stated many times how hard finding a good child actor can be, and Kolsch and Widmeyer nailed it with Lawrence. She's fine as the ever-curious and adventurous daughter, but Lawrence truly shines when the film makes the turn to pure horror, and Ellie is resurrected. Lawrence is terrifying, and it's a shame her talent is slightly squandered by the fact that the setup leading to her tragedy isn't as compelling. Selling the older child as the one who perished already doesn't have quite the same impact as that of a 2-year-old, but the loss of a child, no matter the age, should be devastating, and while they show its emotional toll, it just doesn't dive into the human psyche in the same manner. The fact of the matter is that this adaptation of Pet Sematary is perfectly okay, and that's it. It's fine, scary in parts, and incredibly well made, but at the end of the day, it's telling a story everyone already knows, with only a twist in the plot that plays more as a gimmick to draw in viewers than a tool that could have been utilized to retell a truly horrifying story in a new way. I give Pet Sematary 2.5 out of 4 stars.
Two and a half out of 4 stars.
Yes!
Explain yourself.
I did.
No, I'm just kidding.
The review. I just felt I liked it. No, it was a good movie because I told Brendan I enjoyed the movie. I just felt like they cut a lot of, I thought, character development out of it. Even like Pascal, the kid that he tries to save that dies, like wasn't, I think, utilized very effectively. And then the Creeds,
I agree with that.
And then the Creeds themselves, like the little girl was amazing. Like she was amazing.
Yeah.
And Jason Clarke's an awesome actor, but I just felt like their character development, I just didn't feel for them as much as the original movie or even the book, where they just seemed to develop more. Like it felt like the directors were really trying to not repeat too much stuff, so they cut out a lot of that to get to the later part of the movie where they introduced new ideas, and it just kind of disappointed me, especially like the friendship between Judd and Creed, because they do a really good job, I feel, in this movie of developing Judd's relationship with Ellie, which is in the book and not in the original movie as much, but they leave out his relationship with Creed, like that development in this movie, which I felt was just kind of a shame, because like I said in the review, it's Judd who ultimately turns, Creed or Lewis Creed onto like the Indian burial ground and lets him know that, hey, this will bring, your daughter's dead cat back to life. And it's kind of like they get this close friendship, and then it's him who sets them on this path towards, death and mayhem. And it's a tragic story like that too. And like I said, there's nothing technically wrong with this remake. It's definitely way better. Like I said, the original did not age well. Like even for its time, the special effects were poor. So and this one, I mean, it has great effects. It has a great atmosphere. The cinematography, the set design. I mean, everything about it is technically great. I just wish, to me, like just the biggest downfall was I just didn't care for the characters as much, and that just kind of disappointed me.
Okay, yeah. I completely agree with the performance from the little girl. That she was phenomenal.
Yes.
And you already gave it away in the review that she does.
Well, they show it in the trailer
and come back. So, which was a twist. My biggest complaint with the film, and I would even say 3.5 out of 4 stars for me. I thought it was a great horror film. I thought it had the scare where it needed to have the scare. I do agree with the lack of character development. I wish we would have seen, and I've never read the book, so I don't know if it's in the book, but I would have liked to have seen them in Boston before they moved. I'd like to see him in a hospital where people are coming in with severed limbs and gunshot wounds and all this stuff. Something to push them out to the rural area.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to have seen that, and that would have helped that for me, because that would have explained a little bit of the dryness of his character. But when it just throws you right in to where they're just now getting to this new home, and Jason Clarke's character does seem very detached from his family, even now that he's getting to spend more time with them. It's not very believable. Now, if I would have seen some tragedy and some crazy stuff going on at the beginning that leads him out there, I would understand. Well, that's why emotionally he's detached, because he's been working 20 hours straight in a hospital seeing just mayhem and death, and he doesn't know how to be a family man anymore. I would understand that, but I honestly, my biggest issues with the film were, what's the kid that died? What's his name?
Gage in the original?
No. The young man that dies.
Oh, Pascal.
Pascal.
Yeah.
I didn't like his character at all. I know in the first movie, in the original movie, he was a lot more animated and talked a lot more, and even was a little bit snarky from time to time, and I liked that because it was believable that this ghost would still be holding on to a little bit of life and reality.
He's supposed to be there to warn.
To warning. Yeah, this guy was just there to say Lewis and then leave. And it was just more of a way to scare people in the darker scenes of the movie. But
in the original, and in the novel, it's very clear like what Pascal's there for, because he's straight up like don't cross that barrier.
Yeah.
And in this one, he never like, other than like you said, like he little brief snippets of phrases where he's just like Lewis, and he's like, and it's like.
Yeah,
and he just gives like
go
these
home,
very
don't go. Silly.
And it just was like, it's like, man, he's doing a terrible job of scaring him away from using this burial ground.
Yeah.
So
the end of the movie was my other big problem.
Yeah,
the way the movie ends, and I'm not gonna spoil that, but I was definitely hoping for something a little bit better at the end than just a I don't know. I don't think they're trying to set it up for anything additional.
No, it
but
was very bleak.
It was bleak
Yeah.
and kind of hopeless, and I just don't like that. I guess I like my movies to end with a happy ending, so, even if it's a horror movie. Most of them still do. But go ahead.
No, I was just saying to the extent. Yeah, I agree because I was like, to the extent that the original story and the original movie both in a bleak manner, but there is still some like hope
Glimmer.
outside. Yeah. And this one like really leaves you with nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's messed up.
I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you did.
Fantastic.
I bet you did.
Just
Yeah.
like Shazam.
Have you ever seen? Have you ever seen the original?
I actually have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of sad that I was not able to join you all to see this movie.
Yeah.
Because
Brandon
having seen the
hates
original. No, I don't.
Oh, I thought you did.
No,
I thought you couldn't stand it.
I like the original.
Okay.
I-
The
it was-
second one was
The
terrible.
second one
second
was
one's
awful.
awful.
It was
Yeah.
it was really bad.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I did like that one more
When you were a-
than
when
I
you
was
were a
when I was
kid.
younger.
Yeah.
I did. I liked it more.
Well, yeah, because the teenage boy is the lead of the
And he had a
Right.
dog.
movie, and you
Yeah.
you just kind
Yeah.
of gravitate towards the
well,
other.
and I don't know
teenage
why,
kid.
but it was like kind of like with Halloween 2,
Mhm.
which I still have more of an affection for Halloween 2 than I do Pet Cemetery 2. But it's like
Well, yeah.
Halloween 2 for me was much scarier than the original.
Mhm.
But now actually going back and seeing Halloween 2 like with the original, I picked the original.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
I mean, but because of my childhood, I still kind of edge Halloween 2. I don't know, it's weird. But Pet Cemetery, I did like the original movie.
Mhm.
I agree with you in the sense that there were a lot of hokey parts. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah.
kid famously from that plays
Kindergarten
Gage
Cop.
from
Yeah,
Kindergarten
yeah.
Cop.
Yeah.
You know, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Yeah.
You know, he was
He'd
in
be
it.
in trouble for saying that today.
True,
Yeah.
but he's just stating facts.
Hey.
You know, but the thing
Surprised
is,
Kindergarten Cop's not banned yet.
It is in the Netherlands.
yeah, it's on its way. It's on its way. But the thing is like that was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Good one, Sean.
Completely unplanned.
But the thing is I wish I could have seen this one to compare it to the original. But I thought the original, based on when it was made, holds up very decently. I think for the most part, it captures like what you were talking about in the review, the main things that it's supposed to, which is you caring about the characters. And I will say that the father, especially in the original, and his interactions with his son Gage, especially when he comes back to life,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
it is very terrifying because it's like, you know, I could easily see in that character how overcome with emotion he is just to see his son again.
Yeah.
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 Regardless of, you know, what is about to happen because he's brought him back.
Yeah.
And same with like when you see the wife come back at the end.
Yeah.
And so again, not having seen this one, I'm curious because it seemed like even from the trailers when this came out, they were playing from the angle much more of it being a horror film.
Yeah.
More so, which
Well, I mean,
we've
it is. It
right,
should
it
be a
is.
horror film.
But we've seen recently how even horror films today have started to tap into the more emotional route. And it's like if you can get people to care about the characters,
Yeah.
you know, just as much as the story involved, it's unique in the sense that we actually get to see something we haven't seen in horror films throughout most of, I think,
Yeah,
our
yeah.
livelihood.
See,
or
that-
our lifehood.
That's
you
what
know.
this movie did for me, though, and I felt like in your review you touched on it a little bit, but for me, when the little girl comes back, like she is even not fully understanding
Oh, yeah.
what happened to her,
And that was actually
there's
really
a lot
good.
more conversation between him and the daughter than there ever was in the original movie between him and
Yeah,
Gage.
because the kid.
I mean,
you know,
I mean, he just comes back straight up killing people.
Yeah.
Like this, she comes back and she's sleeping in her bed and dancing, and she doesn't remember exactly what happened, and then it slowly starts to
That's-
sink in.
I'm not gonna
and
lie,
that-
that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it was
That's
very. I mean, it was
eerie.
emotional
Yeah.
because I know he didn't really display the emotion the way that I wished a father
Yeah.
Would have.
yeah, exactly. But she like displayed the exact emotion that
yeah,
I think a
she
kid
was perfect.
would display if they were brought back from the dead. I mean,
Yeah.
like she doesn't
Yeah.
she doesn't know why her hair's all matted up. She doesn't know why she doesn't feel anything. She doesn't know why her skin color's different. I mean, one of her eyes is all like
Yeah. Yeah.
all
Messed
like
up and
half shut,
twitching,
like
yeah.
one's shut, and because I mean she got hit by a truck, you know. So I mean it's very realistic, and I enjoyed that part as far as the emotion goes. But you did mention that there was no real lengthy like descent into madness
Yeah.
over all of these tragedies happening. And I felt like the mother actually showed that better than the father.
Yeah, I would
like
agree
the
with
mother
that.
really, when she comes back and sees the little girl, like and the little girl is hurt by the rejection.
And her reaction actually was great.
Yeah, but she's also mad about the rejection, and that makes her more quickly into the killer. The Judd guy, like John Lithgow,
he just
nowhere near as good as the original.
He just didn't like. John Lithgow's performance wasn't bad. Like
No,
he
no,
gave
no,
a
no,
good
no, no.
performance,
But his character wasn't.
But his
as-
character, was
yeah.
very kind of useless. Like he really was only there to explain what the Indian burial ground was and to show Lewis that it existed.
He tells him, "Don't go in there," but go in there.
Yeah,
No, don't go in there.
yeah.
You know, I mean, he
Because
confuses
if I'm gonna take you in
Lewis.
there, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like he tells him to stay off that ground, and then he tells him to take the cat, and then he's like, "But don't ever go back there." And then he leads him on to believing that you can take a human there,
Yeah.
and that things might be different, but maybe I was wrong. It's very. I just felt like it was so back and forth in his.
He does in the original and in the novel. They do a good job of like how he talks about like. He tries to warn them away from it because the town has a history of like people have used that before.
Yeah, and he's used it before.
And he's used it before,
Yeah.
and it's always ended bad. And he knows it's a bad place. But the original, like I felt, movie and the original book, like give you that sense of like how that place just kind of like it kind of like possesses you, and like you kind of can't help it. And like he didn't want to, but at the same time he knew like Ellie was hurting because her cat died, and he thought, well, it's just a cat.
And he
what
loved
can
her.
What can it possibly harm? Like just a simple cat to be resurrected. And it's like they don't do a good job in this movie of really showcasing, that process that led him to finally showing Lewis that and then regretting it, because he did regret it immediately in the original.
Well, what I'm finding here too is I find it pretty curious because Sean, you were the one that, coming out of the review giving it a much higher rating, but it's like as we're kind of discussing it and talking about it, I mean, the critiques that
Right.
you're throwing at it are
Well,
warranted. I mean,
The
absolutely,
things that
but
I
it's like-
found wrong with it were not enough to make it not a good horror film for
Right.
me. So as
Okay.
far as
Your
horror
star rate,
films
you're
go,
sticking with
I'm
your
sticking
star
with
yeah.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the ending and a few issues I have with some of the character, for the most part, everything was very believable. Everything was terrifying as hell. Like it is just a scary freaking movie.
Okay.
And I mean, I thought like Us was pretty. It got me good,
Terrifying, yeah.
But
This
this one,
one's
there's
far
just so many
scarier.
moments where I even know what's going to happen.
Well, let me ask you this
and
too.
it's still
having not
not
seen
jump scares, just mental
eerie.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So real quick too, because having seen the trailer and I'm still very much looking forward to seeing it. Is it always seemed like to me they were trying to go for the jump scares, but it also seemed like they were showing all of the scary moments in the trailer.
There's really
no, no.
only a
That's-
couple of those moments where something just comes out of nowhere and kind of scares you.
Yeah.
It's mostly the sound and just the sheer like freakiness of
The-
what Stephen King wrote.
They
Like,
build the
it's
suspense
crazy.
really well. I will give it. Yeah.
The sister, the wife's sister,
Yeah, Rachel's
that's
sister.
crippled and what did she have, spinal bifida or something?
Yeah.
Some weird. I mean, it's twisted her body all up, and
And it's way better than the. I mean,
Yeah.
the effect of her like being like kind of
again,
mangled and crooked
again,
is way
like,
better. More
her
realistic
descent
looking.
into madness over being in this home and all of these remembering her sister. That was way
That was
better,
better.
than Lewis. But again, I say 3 out of 4. I thought about going higher, but my critiques
Yeah.
brought me down to 3. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I would suggest everybody go see it.
I mean, I give it 2.5, but I don't think it was a bad movie. Like I don't say 2.5 because I thought it was bad.
No, yeah,
It's
I don't-
it just had some things that kind of irked me, but I mean it's definitely, I mean, I think warrants its existence. As far as, I mean, there's a lot of things that get remade. There's like you didn't need to make that.
Yeah.
That was like Ben-Hur was a pointless remake. Shouldn't have existed.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I
Oh,
think
gosh,
this
yes. That was
this I think
pitiful.
definitely warrants, and I think definitely just the uniqueness of switching the child and what that had to offer was definitely because she was very excellent in the way when she came back. And I mean, that's a hard thing to pull off anyways. Like I said, with those kids, it's like doing one role is hard enough for a
Yes.
child.
Yeah.
But when you have that child that can completely
the little
flip
boy
their
in
yeah,
that
yeah.
movie was
And that's how I felt
crazy.
with her, is because she had to play just a normal sweet innocent girl, but then when she's resurrected, she has to become like that evil thing that looks like her but isn't really her. And it's like that was really well done. Like
Yeah.
it's
Because she doesn't know that she's not her.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what was creepy about it. Was it takes a minute for her to for it
yeah.
to sink in that
yeah.
she's not herself anymore.
That
Yeah.
actually is, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very good way of handling it
Yeah.
and making it even creepier. Than
It's like
Yeah.
the
what we
body
used
and the
to, yeah.
memories are there, but the soul is
soul's
Oh,
gone.
yeah,
so,
yeah, that's a good way of putting it right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That just creeps you out. You know what else? My soul is gone.
Huh.
Yeah,
What
you know
happened?
why? Because I witnessed the Star Wars Episode 9 teaser, and Palpatine just took my soul.
He did?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because, I don't know, I'm trying to make a
Yeah,
segue.
that was not a
It
good
awful.
segue. But we're going to
You
talk
just-
about
you
the
leave the
Star
segues
Wars
to
trailer
me.
now. Just say it like that. That would have been so much
Fine.
We're going to talk about Star Wars movies.
I was going to say. So, the fact is, oh gosh, I've got lower issues here. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
my.
Graphics issues.
pitiful
What happened?
Nope. No, that's the right one. So yeah, we're talking about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, Episode 9 teaser.
I don't like the title.
Really?
You don't?
I do not like the
I
title.
like it
explain.
because it intrigues me.
I mean, yeah, it's intriguing, but it gives the whole thing away. Like I just don't like
You
the
don't
title.
know.
I don't
that.
know.
You
'cause
don't
I
know
have no-
anything.
I have
You
no clue.
Like
Yeah,
it.
I have no clue what that means.
Because I mean, it was just silly.
You
Like the
don't
Last
know.
Jedi, she's not the Last Jedi. There's going to be more, and she's not the Last Jedi because Luke was there at the same time. So it's just I didn't like the title of that one. I don't like this one.
I like that because this one I think actually is intriguing because I don't know what that means. It's like, is it her? Is it Kylo Ren? Is it Luke? I mean, what is School of Rise of Skywalker going to entail? And
Yeah,
um,
Kylo Ren's not a Skywalker.
Well,
so.
no, but still, I mean, people are still.
I was gonna
Thinking
say
Rey
I'm
and-
still skeptical on the whole Ray isn't. I mean, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, when you got Mark Hamill tweeting
Yeah.
out that Luke Skywalker did not die a virgin, then he's like flat
Well,
out telling you that. In,
Wait,
in,
do you
in
think
his
do
mind,
you think
the
there's
big
gonna
Skywalker?
be? You think there's gonna be like a Luke, like sex scene in this last movie?
No,
No.
I'm just saying they're pointing at Rey being one of.
What if that's
his
the
children.
rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, he took the blue pill.
Honestly, that's all I ever want. Like, even though it's predictable and and people like bash JJ for making the same movie
And there's
the
nothing
first
wrong
time.
with it.
There's nothing. I was perfectly okay with Rey being a Skywalker. That's what I wanted.
Yes.
And it's like sometimes predictable is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we have to do new and unique things,
But
but
again,
sometimes it's okay.
JJ's film, The Force Awakens, was so much better than the last. Well,
Jedi.
everything is better than the Last Jedi.
Yeah, that's true.
Even the movie that you joked about at the beginning of the show, The Phantom Menace, is better.
was
than
better
the
than
Last
the
Jedi.
last.
Wow,
Actually,
wait, are
no,
we
no,
going
no.
on record to say that?
I am
You
flat
think
out.
The Last Jedi is
I don't
worse
think
than the
there's a
Phantom Menace?
worse Star Wars movie than the Last Jedi.
I agree. Actually, I will agree with Sean because, especially like after when I first saw it, I didn't think it was the worst. But after, like I told you the other day, when you look at the original trilogy, you look at
It's like,
yeah,
he's gotta
I'm
take a
gonna-
deep breath
You
to
look
get all
into
this
the
out.
original trilogy, you look into the prequel trilogy. At least they're all this one overarching narrative. The
Yeah.
prequels may have been bad, but you can understand that whole
There's a
story.
consistent story
you can
there.
you can understand the whole story beginning to end. When Ryan Johnson made The Last Jedi, and it followed no plot threads from The Force Awakens and left no plot threads for JJ to pick up,
Right,
it
right.
completely disjointed the entire
know.
trilogy.
I agree.
Because he trashed everything JJ started, so JJ's got to rebuild it in the last movie, and then he left no threads for JJ. So
Yep.
basically,
well, I was gonna say that was the initial problem. Was like
he's
he
got to
left
take
nothing.
Yeah, he's
got
got to
to
take this movie and basically wrap up
Yep.
9 movies with nothing to go on because everything he started, Ryan Johnson, he has to basically kind of backtrack and retcon things to be like, okay, well now I got to explain this away and explain this away because
Yep.
Ryan Johnson left me nothing to go on.
And I think that's what I think Palpatine or Darth Sidious is the voice that we're really hearing there, or the laughter at the end. I don't necessarily even think he's going to be a Force ghost. I think he's going to be alive. That's my theory.
Wait,
With the Death Star, pieces of the Death Star out there floating
Yeah.
in the ocean and stuff, I'm just
it's
predicting
so
that
weird.
he hasn't,
I don't have any kind of theories
that he didn't die.
I think it was a cool like honestly, I liked the better Reddit version that had Jar Jar Binks
in
at
charge
the
of
end
everything.
of it.
Yeah.
I think
No.
I
Like
think it's pretty
they
cool if
had.
Palpatine was pulling the strings. Like
Yeah.
if he
It-
even
no, it
if
would
he was
be.
even the one leading Kylo to kill Snoke.
But then again, even then, that gives more. Which I completely agree. That teaser alone with him coming back
yeah.
also lends itself to Skywalker's not dead.
Yeah.
Because even if he is, it's like,
Oh,
yeah,
I
how
don't
can
think-
the dark side be stronger than the
I don't
light?
think Luke's
It's
dead
like,
either.
No.
Right.
I don't think Luke's dead at all. I don't think he's going to come back as a Force ghost. I think he'll be
Alive.
revealed to still be alive in this. But yeah, no, I agree. I think because one, it gives Snoke's death more purpose because you don't know any idea who Snoke was or how he came to power. But if you find out Palpatine's been pulling the strings this entire time, yeah, I agree. Then it's like, okay, Snoke's death doesn't matter now
Right.
because Palpatine had been
He
there
was
the
a
whole
puppet
time.
all
Just
along.
he was just a tool.
It actually
in the
makes
old-
Ryan Johnson's movie look better. yeah.
That's
I mean,
I
that's
mean,
what
really,
it does.
that's
Yeah.
the only way that I can think for JJ to tie up what he created with
Yeah.
The Force Awakens, please the fans to give us another Return of the Jedi, and make Ryan Johnson's film at all
relevant.
relevant. It would be to do
Yes.
something like that because
Well, and that's
Snoke
the
was
trick.
built up to be the big bad.
Yes.
But the thing is Snoke was never a Sith, and the whole rule is from all of Star Wars is there's a Sith and there's an apprentice.
Yeah.
There can't be one without the other, or there's always
two, yeah.
always two. So Snoke was not a Sith, so there has to be a Sith Lord out there alive for Kylo to be in it. To be
What
an
about the
apprentice.
Knights of Ren?
That's something completely
I was going to
different.
say
That's different.
I
yeah.
know it's different, but it's like we
Yeah.
still haven't heard from them
Oh
since
no,
Force Awakens, and nothing's
there's
been
a
ever
brief
brought
clip
up.
of them in the trailer. So I'm
Yeah.
sure JJ, and that's the other thing. I feel bad for JJ because there's so many plot threads that he has to wrap up now because that's something that should have been built on in the sequel.
Yeah.
and it wasn't. Like everything that like Ryan Johnson just ignored pretty much everything from Force Awakens.
And I think it's only fair that JJ does as much of that as he can.
yeah,
Just
ignores everything
ignore-
from the Last
exactly.
Jedi. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's
and
it's,
no
it's trick.
milking things. I don't want to see anybody milk anything in this
Green
movie.
milk.
please.
No, I think that's the tricky part here, though, is because it's like we want to erase, Episode 8 from our minds.
Yeah.
And it's tragic what happened to it in terms of it not building on anything else that came before it. The problem is that if JJ though then does a good job of making it relevant, it's then the problem of like, oh well, now we have to exclaim that it's worth being included.
Yeah.
Which again, I think for the sake of the saga, I don't want to write any one of them off.
Yeah.
It's like the original
You have
or the
to
new
have it.
trilogy.
You have to have it.
Right, exactly. So it's like
Yeah.
you can't completely write out the
Honestly,
the Last Jedi.
I would say
You
the
just
Last
can't.
Jedi's worth is really going to be dependent on what JJ can pull off with. It really will.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
It'll make or break the basically the trilogy because if JJ can pull off this last film and wrap everything up nicely, then
He's
it's
gonna
like,
have to.
And then it's like
Yeah.
okay, then the Last Jedi served its purpose. But if this movie
So,
comes
so
out,
really, JJ's got a hell of a task. Of,
he's
got to
save this trilogy.
Yeah.
not just save the trilogy, the saga.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, 'cause
this
this
is the
is the
last
end.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is supposed to wrap up like a whole 9 story, and that's the thing is like
That's what pisses me off even more about the Last Jedi sucking.
It's
is
because-
like
Yeah.
you literally took one movie out of what is supposed to be this 9-movie
Yeah.
saga, and you really screwed the pooch by
And,
just making
yeah,
it irrelevant.
Ryan Johnson was so determined to subvert like every expectation and make it like nothing, like no other Star Wars, that it's like you missed the point, man. It's like it's supposed to be a part of this 9 like chapter epic saga.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like that's not the time to subvert people's expectations and change everything. It's like you're reaching the end of this saga. You're supposed to be wrapping things up and
Yeah.
connect everything, not like throwing everything out the
Well,
window.
he wanted to completely erase the idea of a legacy, and he wanted to erase the idea of one guy being the hero that stops everything. He wanted to make it all about all these different people. Like all these characters are heroes in their own right, and they're all coming together to do this. But that's not Star Wars.
No.
Star Wars is a King Arthur kind of story. It
It's
is
the-
one guy doing
Yeah.
it all, and that's who Luke was through almost all of the films. That's who Anakin was through, and Obi-Wan was through the first 3 films. I understand what Ryan Johnson was trying to do. He's trying to do something so different, but he did it so different that it wasn't Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that's where I just completely disregard his film because it's not a Star Wars film
Well,
to me.
and I think that's why I respect the title, The Rise of Skywalker, just because it's like, okay, JJ understands that
That it's coming
that
back.
this is supposed
Yeah.
to be the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
From the prequels to the original
Which
trilogy
was
to
not
this.
something
so-
that was left
I
out
can
when
agree
this
with that.
started.
No.
This trilogy began with the
Right.
basis of we've got to continue the
Right.
Skywalker saga.
When it began, the whole point was we have to find Luke because he's the only one that can help, save us. And then
so
Ryan
let's find
Johnson,
him and then kill him off.
Yeah,
in the
then
same
Ryan
movie.
Johnson's just like,
Yeah.
oh no, we don't care about the Skywalkers anymore. Let's throw it all out.
Well, here's the
Raise
thing.
nobody and Luke's dead.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the question of her parenting or her parents, that's where Ryan Johnson took JJ's idea of them dropping her off here to hide her, and
Yeah.
he kind of just like, oh, no, your parents were meaningless. They died 5 minutes later or whatever. I don't even
Yeah.
remember what excuse he came up with, but JJ could play off of that and say, yeah, but those people who dropped you off weren't your parents.
Yeah.
Right.
Luke's your father.
Well, and that's the thing.
Or-
but that's the
or
weird part
whatever.
about all this is like it literally is backtracking, and again, making his movie relevant.
That's a Disney movie.
But
they have
also,
to
well, yeah,
walk
but
back everything they say. So they're going to walk back this movie, too.
But that's the thing, making everything that Ryan Johnson said irrelevant, yet at the same time making it cohesive so that it matches and fits.
If he can do that,
Within the
then
9
he is a true
Yeah.
Jedi.
He's gonna. He's gonna
He
have
is
to.
a
I
Jedi
think
master.
J.J. Abrams is full aware of the predicament he's in, and I don't think he would have took this one lightly.
Right,
I think
right.
he knows
He likes the challenge.
Well,
yeah.
and he's
He
not
likes
gonna
it.
sit
And
here
he's
and
a huge
admit
fan
for
of Star
1
Wars.
second that
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson screwed it up. Nobody is.
No.
He's
No.
gonna sit there and say, no. We everything Ryan Johnson did was fine. He left me in a good
Well,
spot.
no, 'cause
blah
nobody-
blah
yeah.
blah. It's like BS, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's BS.
Yeah.
It's like, look, everybody, Disney knows fans were mad.
It's like Joss Whedon
Fans were
coming in
ticked.
behind Zack Snyder.
yeah. But the
But
sad
he's
thing
gonna
is,
do
is
it,
he couldn't even save that.
This trailer shows me that this is going to be better than
The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is just a teaser, so we still have.
Oh, we have a
this
full,
is
yeah.
like a
actual
2-minute trailer here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when's that
Yep.
coming?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
later
don't
in
know.
the year.
Yeah, it'll be
Probably
later.
attached to Lion
So
King.
this is Christmas,
Oh,
right?
Lord. Yeah, it comes out around Christmas. It's fun because I told Brandon the other day, and I've been pumped for Endgame since Infinity War. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's only a year.
Every
it's,
day
It's only
since Infinity
it's
War.
only it's only been a year. It's like a year
Yeah.
later, but still, every day, like you said, since Infinity War, I've
Yeah.
been pumped for it. Episode 9. This has been like almost 2 years after Last Jedi, and I have not been anticipating it, which
Yeah.
is sad
Yeah.
because it's Star
I've been
Wars.
thinking about it, but
Yeah.
until I saw the trailer,
Yes.
I was not excited at all
Yes.
because Episode 8 ruined it for me.
And that's sad because I'm a much bigger I mean, I love Marvel, but I'm a much bigger Star Wars fan than I
Yeah.
am a Marvel Comics fan. So I should have been like from the moment Last Jedi ended, I should have been wanting Episode 9, but I didn't because it
Thanks,
just yeah.
Ryan.
So
Thank you.
seeing this
Thanks,
trailer
Obama.
when this exactly when this trailer aired and I saw it and I got excited again, I was like, thank you because I want to be
Yeah.
excited for Star Wars.
And that's good. It's good timing. That's
Yeah.
what this teaser was for. It was to get people excited about, more trailers coming out and hopefully not divulging too much more information. I don't want him. That's the thing, man. I've quit watching in-game trailers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they keep giving away more, and I don't want to
Well,
know.
I was gonna
and there was a
say-
huge leak and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
Like,
so
I-
glad you brought that up because that was a perfect segue into our
Yeah.
next headline.
Yeah.
Don't spoil the end game, okay?
Yeah.
Are y'all gonna spoil it? Have y'all seen the leaks?
I have
No,
not.
no. I
No.
refuse to watch it. It's not like you're just gonna get on the internet and bam, they're there. I mean, you do have to kind of look for them.
But I give
But
that.
If
I
you
give that a
Google
testament,
Endgame,
though.
the first results that pop up are
Are the
about the
leak.
leak.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're about the leak, but I mean, it doesn't give anything
But
away.
to
unless
a
you
lot of
click on
people's
it.
credit, these articles that talk about the leak tell you right there in the article, like we're not going to
Spoiler
show
alert.
it here.
Yeah.
No, they say we're not going
Oh,
to show it here.
but they
No.
direct you
they're
to.
yeah,
They
they
give-
say here it's out there, and even
They don't even put a link to it.
yeah,
They're just like,
several of them I read said like
Well, I was
you can
gonna say-
find it if you want to, but we're not linking it here.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So
and I was
they're
going to say,
respecting
I
it.
give credit to the internet,
Yeah.
which is funny because, look, the internet can either be for you or against you.
I know it.
It's rarely in the middle. Okay, it's either
Yeah.
great or bad.
Yeah.
and the thing is
Absolutely.
like
It's like people will kill each other over Republican and Democrat, but when it comes to Endgame,
everybody's on the same
we're all
page.
at peace.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
they banded together because
It's
yeah,
crazy.
there has not been anything.
Should we
online.
thank the Avengers
I
of
think
the internet?
the nerds
Ooh.
everywhere that know
Brandon. I tell you to
I'm
go
one-
home.
one right
I tell you
after
to
the
go
other,
home, but we're
I'm
already there.
here.
It's
so
just-
bad.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
just right after the
Yeah.
other.
That's
Yeah.
actually what Hellboy did this weekend.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Hellboy
it
bombed
flopped
bad.
It
bad.
flopped
Well,
bad.
I knew when I saw that 12% on Rotten Tomatoes, I was like, yep, this is going to be a bad movie.
And somebody's already saying, "Oh, it's going to be a cult classic." I'm like, "No, it's
No, it's-
not. Maybe
no,
for
it's
bad
not.
movies,
Yeah.
but that's it."
It came. It's opening weekend, and it came in third at the box office. That's
That's
terrible.
bad.
Yeah,
That's
that's
bad.
terrible.
But the thing is, back to Endgame.
Yeah.
So I will give credit to the internet for saying, which this isn't just new.
Mm-hmm.
This has happened, I think, with a lot of major releases over the last few years. It's
Yeah.
like anytime there's a huge movie that comes out with this kind of fan following, fans always band together to block out spoilers. And so the fact is even when this, I think it's funny that whoever leaked it thought they were doing somebody a favor by leaking this and also being like, ha ha ha, I'm going to get the buzzword even,
Yeah.
and if it gets real big and out there, then I'll come forward and maybe my name will be revealed, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, the first instance of people knowing there were leaks,
Everybody was
was like,
actively
don't
avoiding it.
say it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like avoid it at all costs.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to spoil it for
No,
themselves.
absolutely not.
It's a week away. It's like, I want to see the movie. I don't want to see, because they say, I mean, it's a pretty significant part in the film, and it's like I don't want to, because that just ruins any like emotional toll the movie's going to have. It's like I
Yeah.
already know what happens, and
Exactly.
that stinks.
Yeah, it's-
And like I said, I felt bad for the Russos because like they've even stated in interviews like before the leak happened that they filmed scenes for the trailers that aren't in the movie. Like they specifically filmed
just to
fake,
throw people
fake
off.
scenes just to throw people off because they did the same thing with Infinity War.
Right.
They showed the Hulk in all the trailers, and then of course he wasn't actually in the movie for most of the time. He refused to show himself. So it's like they do that on purpose so that people don't know what's coming. And then this a-hole who, is part of production is like, oh, look, I can take this.
You
and-
can say it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that's what he is, okay?
Yeah.
But
You
I
can
mean,
say it.
yeah,
Remember
so
last
it's
week's
like,
podcast.
I guarantee you the minute they find out who it is, though, he ain't going to have a job in Hollywood
No,
anymore.
absolutely.
Well, what's
not.
going to happen to him is like that guy that got his butt kicked for saying Han Solo dies in the lobby of the movie theater at Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah.
Like somebody got almost beat to death.
Yeah.
Because
What?
As
He
people
came
were
out of the
coming
theater
in,
and
he
it's-
came out and goes, Han Solo dies.
Oh,
and people
man.
beat
They
him
beat,
up.
they beat the crap out
Yeah,
of him.
they just about killed him.
See, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't.
Even the police were beating him.
it was bad. I mean, that's the thing. You don't mess with fans.
No.
And the things
No.
that they love. They go, and especially Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, anything
yeah.
like that, and freaking Avengers. I mean,
Yeah.
look, we've had
Yeah.
19 films up to
20.
this. 20.
This is
20,
22.
this is the
22.
22nd. This is-
So
yeah.
we've had 21 films prior to this one,
Yeah.
leading up to this. And like you said, we're a week away.
Yeah.
Why the hell would you think that it's a good idea to spoil anything and that somebody's going to actually care? I'm like, no, people are avoiding that
mean,
like
this
the
is-
plague
right.
because they want to be surprised.
Well, I have no hope
I
for
mean-
humanity. Like,
But no, yeah, they've been building this story like 21 films. That's huge. So it's like people don't want to know what's coming.
huge.
It's huge. It's so huge. It makes my hands look tiny. I don't know what accent that is.
Yeah.
It was not. It was not.
was not
Trump.
Trump.
It was not.
It was not Trump.
I-
It was our
I
best
just-
attempt at
but
Trump.
you know what? We're not going to spoil it either. Okay.
Hey,
Nope. We're not going to spoil it next week when we go see the movie.
I'm gonna watch that
Do
movie.
you have
gonna-
your
yep.
tickets?
Uh,
I'm asking my audience.
Yeah.
Do you have your tickets?
Do
for
you have
Endgame?
it?
you're not supposed to.
They didn't say anything.
No, they didn't say
This is-
nothing.
what kind of crap
We even-
outfit is this where we can't hear people answering us?
I don't know, Keith. Do you have your ticket?
I've got. Go see the movie.
Oh gosh, what does he do?
I'm gonna see it.
I hope so.
Well, I will say
Hope
we
nobody's
are going to
car
go see
breaks
it
down
next
or
week,
anything.
and I want to let everybody out there know 8 p.m.
Yes.
next
Yes.
week. We're going to be
We gotta go see Endgame,
seeing.
guys.
Yeah, we got to see
Yeah,
Endgame.
We do not care about you.
We're going to see a
when it
late
comes
show.
to Endgame.
So it's like, yes, next week at 8 p.m. we're going to have our live show, so we can leave and get to the theater on
we are,
time.
We are cutting it off at 9 o'clock.
That's right, cutting it off at 9. We're going to be here again, though, not in the studio, but actually on our way back from seeing the movie, and we're going to do a Facebook Live in the car on the way back. And I will say, though, just like our little topic of the week, lower third down there says, we're not going to spoil nothing.
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 No.
Which is a double negative.
It's
because
going to be
we are
like
gonna
first
spoil stuff.
reactions to,
We
to
just
what we just
we
saw.
gotta go see it before anybody does try to spoil it even more.
Yeah,
Yes. I mean-
exactly. So we're definitely going to give you our impressions and what we think. And even if you don't want to tune into that, then skip that. Because
Yep.
some people, like our buddy Neil, don't even want to know if we thought it was good or bad.
Listen, Neil, the movie is 1 out of 4 stars. Okay, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yep. So
I mean, we're not going to say it's a bad movie. It's just not going to happen.
I don't think so.
I'm
I
gonna go
don't.
ahead and just call it
I
right
can't.
Now.
Yeah.
I
Let
don't
me
think
ask
so
you guys this, and maybe our audience doesn't know about this, but they will after. But do you think Bethesda will be there?
oh, yes. Our audience, we need to explain. Do you all one of y'all want to explain
I
who Bethesda
hope
is?
so.
Well, since
Is this the first? Is this like the very first screening that night?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, it's the only one.
Oh, it's only one.
It's
Okay,
the
yeah,
only
she'll be
one.
there then.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be there.
So every midnight, they're not midnight anymore, but every midnight release that we've been to for Marvel.
Marvel Universe.
Marvel
We've, how
Universe.
many have we done? About
Oh my
6?
god,
A lot.
Probably more than
all
that.
the all the Avengers.
All of them? All the Avengers, yeah. But how many more have we done?
Oh, we did Iron Man and
We did Iron Man, Iron
one
Man
of the
2 and 3.
yeah,
We've done one of the Thors. I think Ragnarok.
yeah.
Of both the
We
Avengers.
did Ant Man, didn't we?
And
Um,
Ant Man.
I don't know if we did the.
I didn't
midnight
see
premiere of
Doctor
that one.
Strange.
No,
in
that
theaters.
is-
No, I
that
think
one.
I was the only one that saw it in theaters.
But
I
very
saw it in
a lot of
theaters,
them.
a lot of them.
but-
Yeah,
a lot of
definitely
them.
a lot of
So
them.
at every one of these midnight releases, there's usually a little person there, and she's not only is she a little person, but she's also crippled. Because
She's-
every time
well,
we've seen her, she's got a little scooter that she
and it's
pushes
sad
herself.
because she's also obese. She's like,
Really?
Oh,
she's
yeah.
rotund.
She's rotund.
rotund.
She's rotund. That's a very good
That's
way.
I
the
of-
way
wouldn't say
the-
obese.
That's the
but
way
yeah,
the song
yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there is a song
there is a song
that goes along with this person, but she always sets
We're
right
the worst
behind
people
us.
in the world.
Yeah, we
We're
are.
terrible.
But we
It's
love her,
not,
and
not
if she's-
politically correct at all.
If she's there, I think it's time that we talk. to her.
Introduce
Maybe-
ourselves.
Maybe get her on camera. Maybe be like, hey, what'd you think of the movie? Because we've come to these so much, and every time we're here, you sit right.
Oh, hell
behind
yeah.
us.
And
If
we
she's
talk
there,
about
we're-
her.
we're
We talk
going
about her.
to.
We're just like, oh, I bet she's here. I bet you. And then we turn around
And she's
she's
there.
there.
She's always.
She's
there.
probably heard us talking about. But now let me ask you this though, Keith. If we get her on camera,
Mhm.
does that are we kind of like videoing her just to make fun of her?
No.
I mean, at this
I'm
point-
legit,
at this
I'm
point-
legit like.
I don't
I'm
think-
excited about her. It's like she makes sure she gets out to see these movies like
Yeah.
every premiere.
But
and
you don't.
I-
You,
I
you
don't
don't
think-
feel
I don't think we're
guilty
making fun of
for
her at
trying
all.
to get her on
no,
video.
no.
I think we're.
I don't
want
want to get her on video because I want to make fun of her.
Yeah.
she's
I'm
such
not
a
saying you're gonna make fun of her. I'm just saying you don't feel guilty at all that we're getting her on camera for the first
Look,
time
look,
now.
look. If we have a conversation with her, which I know we will,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think we have a reason to
No.
approach her now and say, look, we've been to all of these and we've noticed. You're the one person we've noticed. Yeah, because you're in a wheelchair. And yeah, because
you're little.
Yeah, we're terrible people. But I think if we have an honest,
she's
genuine
always
conversation,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And,
think
Okay.
I mean, she's such a huge fan that I'm like, well, I honestly think it'd be cool to be like, what do you think of it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're always here.
So
Like,
literally,
I mean,
like one year, we were out in front of the building, and the little van was in the handicap spot.
Yeah.
we're just like, that's probably
Bethesda.
Bethesda.
we don't know her real
That's
name.
not
It's
her
just
real
what- that's
name.
just
That's
what we
what we-
named
I
her.
think
Bethesda-
I'm gonna feel more bad about that.
Bethesda
when I find
Obidget
out her
the
real
Midget
okay.
was her full name.
I'm gonna feel worse about finding out her real name and realizing we've been calling her Bethesda this whole time.
That's probably
What if her
like, I
name's
mean,
Beth?
Then I'll say we
That
got it
would
pretty damn
be-
close.
That's what I'm
awesome.
saying.
Awesome.
Yeah, her name's
Uh,
probably like Beth Gidget. Something like we're gonna be so like spot on. But no, she literally got out of the van. We were joking about it, standing
Oh, yeah,
in line.
and she got
She
out.
got out. We were like, that's probably Bethesda's van. And then boom, there she comes rolling out the back.
Do you
And I'm
remember the
just like,
van?
yeah, it was like a white minivan.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
you don't remember
what kind
the
it
make
was.
and the model?
No,
As I say, I'm just saying, if we pull up, we know.
no.
Okay. Well, I say, look, if she's there, we're definitely approaching her.
Yeah.
We're definitely talking to her. We're probably going to get a picture with her. And I don't think she'd have a problem with that.
Yeah, we'll kneel down.
Yep. No, she'll be under scooter.
Will you bend the
I think
knee?
it would be fine.
Bend the knee. Okay,
But
moving on.
Moving.
moving on. That's right, guys. I think it's time for our unique weekly segment.
Multimedia. Multimedia.
That's right, guys. Multimedia.
Multipass.
I kind of already teased it at the beginning of the show.
Huh.
So that's right, guys. How do you all feel about this topic? Okay.
It's just, what's the topic?
The topic.
Do you like to receive or send phone
Oh,
calls?
I didn't know
or
where you were going with
texts?
that. That was just like, give every time.
I'd rather play pitcher than catcher. Just saying. Just saying.
So yeah, what the unique weekly segment is? Do you like to receive phone calls or texts, or send phone calls or texts? Which one do you prefer? And it could be either one on whether it's send or receive. What do you all think?
You are so. It says, how do you prefer to communicate? phone
Yeah,
call
okay.
or text.
That'll
Yeah.
work.
Gosh.
That makes more. It's because it's like
Okay, fine.
don't
I'm
care.
sorry. It's
that makes more
You got me
sense.
coughing
Makes
over
more
here.
sense.
oh
Excuse
God.
me. Jesus.
What's
80
wrong with you?
here-
over
here-
there?
so we
don't
sound
know.
odd. 80%
this
of the
water.
time text messages, but there's just some
Yeah.
things that is like very difficult to text, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's just be so much faster if I just call you.
Yeah.
And it's rare because I don't like to get called either. Like when people call me, I get annoyed. I'm like, just text me.
You butt dial me
I do
daily.
but not you, everyone.
Which is weird when you have a smartphone.
I
like, how does
yeah.
that work?
I butt
Is it your
dialed
butt
the
sweat?
police the other day.
Are you serious?
Well, because if you hit like the SOS or whatever, it calls the police. out.
Yeah.
And I really need to get better at just locking my phone before I put it in my pocket. But I just put it straight in my pocket, and then like my leg like hits the screen and stuff, and it was just
Just
randomly
rubs
hitting
it the
whatever.
right way.
And it hit like the emergency call on the lock screen or
Ooh.
whatever, and I hear the police in my pocket. Hello, hello, and I'm like, I'm so
Are you
sorry.
okay? Are you okay?
I'm
No,
inside
he
and
does it
I'm
all the time,
roped
and
up.
I yell like,
Yeah.
Amelia's like, "Who are you yelling at?" I'm like, "Keith." He
Yeah.
butt dialed me again because I'm going, "Keith!" Like, surely he would hear it.
Yeah, I call him Neil. Apparently the police now.
I'm not on
And,
there.
I don't think I ever have called you.
Yes,
Maybe
you
once
have.
or twice.
It's been like at least 2 or
You got to
3
rub the
times.
phone a
I-
different
But
way
it's-
to get it to call Brandon.
It's Sean. Sean definitely gets it the most. I don't know why, but he definitely gets the butt dialing the most.
So I'm the receiver.
Yeah,
in that.
yeah.
Okay.
And then it's probably Neil after Sean, and then it's a toss up because I've called you, I've called Jacob, I've called my friend Christina. So
I honestly don't know, and sometimes I just don't answer because
Crazy.
I'm like, well, I don't want to talk to Keith. But then other times it's like when I finally do answer, and then he's not there because, well,
Well, see,
That's
that's
my ass.
like he
Yeah.
said. He likes to text people, so I'm just like, if he's texting me throughout the day, and then I get a phone call, I think something's wrong.
yeah.
And
or
then
you, or you
I
think it's
answer
maybe
it.
he's calling about the
Yeah,
conversation.
or something's
Yeah,
real
yeah.
important if he's calling me and not texting me, and
Yeah.
then I answer the phone, and all I hear is him talking to people at work or driving, or just like shuffling whatever's in his
Yeah.
pocket. Like I can tell you how many pennies are in his pocket by the time the phone conversation's over. But it's just weird. I don't know. I've never butt dialed somebody on an iPhone.
I really bad, but I guess I just need to lock it.
I think
before
it's
put it in my
because
pocket.
maybe it's just his
Lock it
his
before you
butt,
put it in your
his
pocket.
butt is that
I
sweaty.
don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've even tried to touch my phone with my nose.
That's
when
what I'm saying.
And I can't
It's
get it
so
to
much
work.
harder.
Yeah.
It's like you're.
I take
how do you do that?
screenshots of stuff randomly, like
That's easy though. That's not that hard.
in
though.
your pocket. Like,
yeah,
like
I do that all the
no,
time.
I mean I'm
Push
talking
2
about like I'll
buttons.
get in my photos and it'll be like someone's profile like on Facebook where like I have like like it has just randomly gone through stuff and I'm like, when did I take a picture of that crap? And it's like stuff people put on Facebook or
Man.
just random because like
He's Facebook.
or-
stalking
that,
people,
or-
and like
or
he's got
random
evidence.
like
on
there'll be like
himself.
random websites like that like
Like
it is
Pornhub.
actually clicked on. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And I'm just like, man, I really like I don't know. I just
You don't have to screenshot it. It's already free.
that's true.
Yep.
It's true. And
It's
I'm
like,
just-
I mean,
it
do you
is,
just
it's
like?
funny.
Is it like you just like a certain frame, and you just get off to that frame?
That's right.
Is
It's
that
like I
what
gotta
it
take it.
is?
Click. No, but yeah, it's just I don't.
Okay, I'll throw that in here. So, which do you like to communicate better? You know, phone calls, text, or pictures.
Oh.
So we could throw that in there too.
Well,
do you-
Snapchat's stupid. So
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is.
Even though we have one.
Yeah, and we haven't got on there yet.
I like
so.
memes. I think memes
I
have
love-
actually become a form of
I love
communication.
memes.
GIFs are fan freaking tastic.
Yes,
I
yes,
love the
yes.
GIF keyboard on
Yeah.
texting. Like I will say, like to me,
Is it GIF or GIF?
GIF? It's GIF. I think of the peanut butter.
That's true.
I can't help it, and that's I don't say that.
He says GIF. So, but some
What
people say
the-
GIF.
That's
the-
what I'm saying.
what
What
the
do
You
you
say
say?
GIF, and I think of Griff from Back to the Future.
yeah.
But you gotta
Say
have a
hello to your
whole
mom for me.
nother- Make like a tree and
And
get out
get
of here. So here's the thing, though. I really do think I think it's when I don't know. It depends on, like you said, the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's dire or if it's something that's going to be better said through conversation,
Yeah.
I much prefer a phone call.
Absolutely.
But there are times where it's just like I'm busy throughout the day, and honestly, there's times where even our text thread, it's like I'm keeping up with it, but I don't have time to respond.
run back, yeah.
Like
So I
today,
like
yeah.
to be able to like all the time, and like I know I'm terrible about texting. The worst thing is if you text me and I read it and then I forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really bad about that. But usually, if it's like a pretty lengthy conversation, I can go back and remember. I'm like, oh yeah, they were texting back and forth. Like I'll go back and I'll catch up on the convo. And typically I'll either throw in my 2 cents or I'll be like, oh, the convo's done, so I don't have to. So it's kind of a selective way of being like, well, I guess I don't really have to engage.
You have to.
Yeah. So, but I think it depends. Yeah, on the severity of the issue. Is it something that's just goofy, or is it something that's like, if I'm asking for directions from somewhere, just call me and tell me real quick, or text me the address.
Yeah.
It's like in those ends, like get to the communication a lot quicker. But if it's like something that's important, it's like, you know, it's probably better because it's weird, but I have text threads where easily it's, you know, I've done huge blocks of text back and forth between people, or even like one-on-one conversations of texting, and it's like I've definitely gotten into serious text conversations.
Oh, yeah, I have to.
And
Yeah,
you can
definitely.
easily go back and reread them, and sometimes there's like conversations that I don't want to get rid of because it's either memories or it's like, oh, I remember that time that there was this going on, and I want to go back and I kind of reread
No,
it.
I have the same. There's definitely some good conversations, and I mean you can through text still, because sometimes like if you're like just chill at home and you're doing stuff, and it's still easier like than the phone just to have, you know, because then you kind of do it at your own pace, but it's still a serious conversation.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, and going back to like the memes and I have whole conversations of people that's nothing but memes and gifs.
gifs.
Yeah. So. You know, I mean, I will admit that as far as pictures go, like I do it to Neil all the time. Like he probably gets the the Voldemort one, but I mean other ones too. Because like we'll have a conversation and I'll throw out like a meme that's actually relevant, and he'll be like, "Where do you get these from? Do you just have them saved?" And it's like, no, I'm just really good at finding like good like gifs and memes. Like,
Well, honestly though, I attribute that to the keyboard.
Yeah.
Ever since they made that GIF
it makes
keyboard,
it a lot quicker.
and I can just, I mean, I love
Just search
now.
something.
well, no, I mean I'll
Like-
find like specific like I've gotten really good at finding them on Google, not the keyboard. Like, because if I know like there's a something-
specific one,
like because with especially with Nil, like I'll find random stuff from like movies that I know, like tick him off, like not just Voldemort, but like now I've been sending him Credence from Fantastic Beasts recently.
Which do you have? Do you have like? Do you go in and like create the GIF? Like, do you have one of those GIF creator or like a meme creator?
No,
where you
I
can,
mean,
like,
like,
just
I
find
just find them because I ain't got time for that.
I mean, now Google, when you type something in Google, it used to just say like web, news, internet, or images, video. Now there's a GIF one up there.
Yeah.
So you can just go straight to
it. Yeah.
Everything exists on the internet.
Yeah.
It's true. It is amazing.
If you've thought about it, it's out there.
It's out there.
But that's why I love, like, I will say, like, even I do like texting sometimes because even if it is serious, like sometimes if it gives me the ability to kind of think before I speak, and I mean I like human interaction as well, but sometimes it's like, okay, maybe to say it a certain way and be a little bit more thorough, it gives me a little bit more time to think about my words.
Yeah.
But then when it is kind of goofing off and back and forth, I also like the GIF keyboard because you can find that one. It's just sometimes that image that you're trying to, and that the emotion you're trying to convey, it's so easy to find it and send it, and it's just like, boom, it just hits in the way that you want it to, and it conveys it through just that image and text in a way that you couldn't unless you were in person.
Yeah.
So it definitely, I don't know, it depends on the situation, but I think more so now because we're just so busy in our everyday life.
Yeah.
I think it's
See,
harder
that bothers
to
me 'cause
have. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I like text messages, but what bothers me about text messages is if you don't answer me quickly enough.
Yeah.
Like that's what I end up doing is I'll text something and I don't get an answer, and then I'll text something again and again and again, and that means answer me.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm gonna blow your phone up.
Yeah.
And I will. Like I'm not joking. Like if I do it, if you see like if I ask you a question or say something and you don't answer me within a few minutes, I'm gonna say something else and I'm gonna make it short, and then I'm gonna say something else and it's gonna be short, and I'm gonna blow your phone up because I'm wanting you to answer
What if
me.
I'm unable to answer it?
I get that, and if it's something where like if I know you're at work or whatever, then that's one thing. But usually Brandon answers me pretty quick, and he'll even say I'm busy, or whatever.
Well, I mean, even today it was like I know you had taken your wife's keys, you didn't have my house key,
so I was
and I
stuck
felt
outside.
bad because I was like, well, crap, I know he's there, he's stranded, but it's like, but I'm busy, I was at work, and so I was
No,
couldn't
that's
get
all
away.
I need. Sorry, busy.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's
okay.
nice,
I'll
'cause
wait.
usually he doesn't even text that.
Doesn't
he
even
just
do that.
Ignores, but
Yeah, just
maybe he just
ignores.
knows that if he don't answer you, you're gonna keep going.
No,
with that.
no,
Yeah,
I
I
know
will.
that. I know with Keith, I've been with him now for 28 years, so I don't have to respond to him.
Well, nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Save
You
that
know,
for our next
Jacob's
relationship.
wife was not happy that you don't respond to her either. I don't know what's up with that. But
What? Well, when was this? What are you talking about?
Or was it Neil that she was mad at?
I
don't
don't
one
know.
of
What are
y'all.
you trying to start here on the
The
Red Moon
texting
podcast?
thing. She said
Once
you
you text
never. Yeah, it was
somebody
her.
and
She
find
said you
out.
never
Oh, yeah, no.
respond
I
to
kn-
the text
that's
messages.
just a bad habit.
Yeah,
I really I'm terrible about, like I said, reading a text thread, and I mean to get back with them, and then I
Yeah.
forget, and then it will be like 2-3 days later. I'll be like, oh crap, and I'll remember it
Yeah.
randomly, and I'll get back to them, and I will. It's just,
Yeah.
and sometimes it is me reading it, and I think without thinking about it, like if I notice that it's like, oh, they're talking about something a month from now,
Yeah.
or they're trying to plan something, and like I'll be like, oh, I need to get back to them, but not right away. So it's like I lock it away in my head, like, oh yeah, I'll get back to them, but I won't right away.
Yeah.
And then 2-3 days later, I'm like, oh crap, I probably do need to tell them, like, and get back with them. But I still, to me, if I don't have a problem with actually having conversations with people in person, and I would say that honestly, if I did, then I would prefer having phone conversations.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like, to me anymore, it's like, I don't know. If I can't talk to you in person, I'm more than likely probably going to text you.
Yeah.
And I think
yeah.
it's just mostly people being busy
on
anymore.
based on the situation. Yeah.
Right.
One,
so it's
one of
like,
our listeners or watchers on
Yeah.
Facebook
What do they have to
just
say?
wrote in that they think it's hard to convey the tone through a text message, that sometimes you need to call somebody because today Keith was having some issues at work, and I was all the way out at Stony Brook. I didn't want to see a movie by myself. He wasn't going to make it, and I mean, I'll admit I was a little
Pissed?
But like my text message that I sent him was supposed to be funny, but he got a little back at me like, I'm not doing this on purpose, and
Yeah.
that's not what I meant. I was just
Yeah, no,
pointing
and
out
I understood that
pointing out
afterwards.
the coincidence that it happens a lot on Thursdays. It probably
It just
happens
happens
every
every-
day.
it happens, yeah,
so
every day.
it was just like, but he couldn't he didn't obviously know the tone
Yeah.
that I was going for in my text.
Right.
So
It can be
happens.
easily
sometimes
misconstrued.
sometimes you can get in trouble with a
No,
text
I was
message.
just already like really stressed at that point. I mean, I understood later, but I mean, at that point, I was just dealing with a whole bunch of other.
But
stupid
again,
stuff.
it's in a situation
Yeah.
like that. It's like you can answer a phone call, but then with a text like that, it's like if it gets misconstrued, then you're kind of screwed because now it's like, oh, now you're at each other's throats.
Yeah.
because you're
and it
fighting
continues
back and forth,
on
right?
text messages. I'm just like, if you got
Yeah.
a problem, call me.
Yeah.
And tell me, hey, are you mad or were you joking? Like, I don't have a
But
problem.
then again, he can't call you because now he's like in the middle of something.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's like anymore we've gotten so used to texting
people have
back
gotten
and
away
forth.
from like that human interaction.
Right,
Anyways,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like if I could just send talk to you through a screen, then people are happy.
Well, there's
because
voice
it takes-
memos.
Yeah, that's true. But even
yeah.
still, I mean, it's just the fact that it's easier sometimes when you don't have that straight interaction
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you everything's just kind of clean and you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about looking foolish or feeling
Yeah.
stupid in front of the person. It's like it's just a screen and
Well,
text.
and I was just say going back to the texting and sometimes it being not conveyed correctly. It's like I think sometimes people overemphasize certain emotions in text to try to take away from that. So like I just know depending on who I may be texting, it's like they maybe put like I'm on my way, LOL, like, and then put like the face crying.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm just like, it's funny because it's like they're saying it in such a way that they're trying to say, hey, I'm happy. Like, I'm not pissed. It's like they'll use certain emojis. Or
Oh
they'll
no!
use,
I've done that before.
which I love. Emojis are kind of like gifts too. I love the fact that it's like those exist.
I didn't used to
'Cause-
care about emojis,
Yeah.
but then
Now I use
like you
them.
said, it's like when you discover that you could use them to convey, like, oh yeah, I don't want you to think this. Like,
I don't
found
know
it
the
better.
emojis well enough, so when you put like a crying, I'm just like, did your mom die? Like, I mean, I don't understand what they all
well,
mean.
it's like it
so-
depends
She's
too. It's
laughing,
like
yeah.
for one, like I do love like an iOS 10. I don't know about the Android users or 11 or 12, whatever. one.
Silly Android
I love the
users.
fact that you can like text and then like if you go to the emoji icon, it's like it pops up and the words highlight as to which ones can be changed into an
Okay.
emoji.
Okay, yeah,
And so it's
yeah.
kind of cool that you could click and change a bunch of. But I mean, even like if I'm just like, you could do like, oh, I miss you so much, and then like a ton of crying emojis. It's over dramatic, but it's like to convey even more. Like I really do miss
Yeah.
you. You know,
do it in all
and
caps.
so yeah, but then you like
I
pissed.
love you.
But it's like then the problem is if you do it in all caps, you could be pissed.
yeah.
And then now you're
I love you.
Yeah.
Damn it! It's like you're mad.
It was
Wait a
like
minute,
all
that's-
caps are
you're
like
supposed to say that,
yeah.
sorry.
All caps always make me think
Damn
like
it.
you're just
There you
yelling.
go.
It's like anytime something that's in all caps is like you're just yelling. I mean,
Yeah.
and pretty much like
That's why
everybody's
the president like
all
tweets in all
caps.
caps.
It's
Yeah.
like just yeah, exactly. Because people I've seen people are like, why are you yelling at me? And they're like, I'm not yelling. It's like, well, it's in all caps, so you.
See,
it's
I just never thought
Yeah.
of it as yelling. I thought of it as like just emphasizing. Like,
I guess maybe on
Some people
another
do, some
segment
get
we'll
it,
have to
yeah.
we'll have to talk about generational gaps.
and
and
all this
texting
stuff.
and
Yeah.
and how we communicate.
yeah.
But that, I will say,
Generational gap.
phone call, text doesn't matter. That's what's key: communication.
Yes.
If you love somebody, if you care about them, got to have that communication.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Hell,
Isn't that right, Keith?
Foundation
Well, crap.
of a relationship.
Yep.
I don't want to communicate.
He wants to fornicate.
That's what love is truly about.
Yes.
So until next time, guys. Oh my gosh, that's it.
That's
We've
it.
wrapped up another show. Can
No
you
more.
believe it?
Yeah.
Oh my
Until
goodness.
next week.
Facebook's about to cut us off
What? Why?
because we ran out of time.
Are you serious? They're
Yeah.
cutting us off?
Yeah, they're gonna
Yeah,
cut us off
right now.
That's crazy.
We
That's,
got- we
that's
got-
not the case.
We got
We
4
got-
minutes.
Yeah, we got 15 seconds.
Yep.
15 seconds.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's do
Oh
it.
my gosh. Well, then
Wait,
I
wait, wait.
really.
How could people reach us if they need to, though? We got to get
Keith,
that in there.
It's on your face when you said
right
that.
there?
Perfect. What does it say?
You just poked
I
it.
believe it says RMPodcast at redmoonproductions.com.
I think you're
WTF?
right. Keith,
I think. Was that
that's
right there?
Yeah, right there.
Okay, RMPodcast at redmoonproductions.com.
What about
That's-
you, Sean?
That's fantastic. What is it? Right? Oh God, right there.
Right there.
I don't-
Actually,
right-
you
right there?
Oh,
Oh,
you just
no.
flicked off our viewers.
RM Podcast at redmoonproductions.kizom.
That's right, guys. Email us there, rmpodcast at
Shazam.
redmoonproductions.com.
Yes.
What?
Again for the
Do
fourth
it.
time.
Do it.
rmpodcast at redmoonproductions.com.
Okay, I think
Or,
I'm-
as always, follow us on social media,
Yes.
Facebook, YouTube, subscribe, share.
Snapchat.
Snapchat, I don't know.
I
We're,
just-
we're
I
getting
mean,
there.
yeah.
Someday we're going to get there, okay? But yes, follow us, subscribe, share. We need all the loving in the world that we can get. We do.
We do.
So
That's
until
why it's
next
sad
time,
and
guys,
funny.
I am one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host,
Sean Sebastian.
And
Keith Cheatham. Snippety turtle bears, fluff hump butter beagles, and transiently.
that's right, guys. So next time we'll see you at the movies.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. For more reviews, previous podcast shows, and everything Red Moon, visit our website, redmoonproductions.com. You can also like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for Red Moon Productions, LLC. We'll see you at the movies.